Well, and the flip side of that is a lot of this, we're concerned about access to oil, and now we're all just willy-nilly paying almost $4 a gallon for gas. And I would have thought there would have been a lot more uprising just within the United States, where people are saying, wait a minute, what's going on? How is this happening? And yet we're all just sitting back, getting out our credit cards, paying more. So
I don't fault people for that either. I mean, look, you got to care about the stuff you got to care about. I mean, you can't do anything about Libya, but you got to put gas in the tank, and you got to put food on the table, and you worry about your job. And so I'm not faulting people. I'm not lecturing. I'm just pointing out that when you go to war without a consensus to do it, when you don't get congressional authorization, when you don't explain the mission, and apparently you yourself don't even have a mission, this is what happens.
And when
so
you can't identify the enemy, that's the problem. Even NATO a week ago gave a speech and stated that, if these rebel soldiers continue to attack, we're going to attack them. So they really don't know who the enemy is, and that's a big problem.
One thing I think would serve us well is if we could get back to the model of Congress makes the war. Congress authorizes wars. And it's very clear in the Constitution that Congress is supposed to do that, and then the President is the Commander-in-Chief who directs the war. But we have got to get back to that. Because, no, the American people aren't paying attention.
Why is Congress allowing it to happen? Because they have the power to stop the funding and say, no, you're not doing this.
But what member of Congress wants to be, identified as the guy who cut off the troops?
Well, but see, I haven't understood this since way back in Bush's time, is that the president has the right to initiate, now I forget the terminology, like what, a 90-day invasion, or do you guys know your Constitution?
Yeah, the War Powers Act.
Yeah, there we go. Thank you.
But I mean, what we're talking about is, if you're asking why Congress doesn't want to do it, they don't want to own it. They don't want to be responsible.
Well, but that's their job.
Election.
That's their job. That's what they were elected to
Absolutely.
do. So if they're sitting back and doing nothing, you can't just blame the president for making a mistake.
Well, you have to, because Obama took the next step without Congress approval or support.
You
really don't.
Michael, don't you understand? Because Cathey's saying it's Congress's fault because they didn't stop Obama. See, he can't be blamed.
Yeah, but
it's Congress's
fault. No, that
fault
is
for
not what I said. I said he can make a mistake, and he can do wrong. But Congress can't sit back and say, "Oh well."
Where's Cindy Sheehan?
But if I was a
Where's Cindy Sheehan? Where are the anti-war people?
Exactly.
Seriously, where are they? Have you seen any of that?
Name I haven't heard in a long time.
Where is she? For 8 years, everything the military did, everything Bush did, every place he sent the troops, wrong, criminal, atrocity, he's Hitler. Where are these people? That was so transparently phony as a personal issue with him. They should be ashamed of themselves.
Well, but they didn't have to get the PR for it either. A lot of, they could have been doing their little thing and never made the news, and no one would have known except the people that were in the vicinity. But isn't it mysterious to you guys that in our lifetime, there's always been an anti-war movement until now? And now there's none. I just think we're in a period of apathy where a lot of citizens just don't care one way or another because we want to get our own reality show.
Well, maybe that's
I'm serious. That sounds funny, but
there's been so much turmoil happening overseas for so long that
we're just fatigued.
I speak for a lot of people my age, and it's just you're desensitized and you're fatigued.
Yeah.
And did you vote in the last election?
Yes, I did.
But how many of your friends did?
I would probably say maybe 40 to 50% of my friends voted.
And that's scary to me.
Yeah.
That's our voice. And if people don't get out and vote and speak and have a say, then they don't care. And you can spout all you want on your radio program, but if people
do I spout on my radio program? I thought I enunciated.
You are old faithful.
I just think it's very interesting and curious that we had an anti-war movement during World War II, for crying out loud. All of a sudden, the silence is deafening.
Because we have a very uneducated society, and we have a society.
In 2 years, we got an uneducated society.
No, it wasn't 2 years. It's been a progressive.
They were in the streets foaming at the mouth in 2007 and 2008. They told us if we elected John McCain, we'd be involved in more foreign entanglements, and he was a warmonger, and he'd keep us in Iraq.
But why are you giving them all that power? Why didn't all John McCain's voters get out and vote him in? Where were those voters making a statement?
If there's a principled opposition to foreign adventures and wars we don't need to be in, wars of what do they call it? Well, wars of choice as opposed to wars of necessity. And all of our recent wars have involved, except Afghanistan, have involved us not really being attacked by anybody. Then where are these people? Doesn't it show the hypocrisy of that movement that they only protested Republican wars?
But where's the other side? I mean, I'm not disputing what you're saying, but I'm saying there's two sides to that story as well. So where is the other side that says we need to get our congressman to get in there and get this fixed? Why is everybody so afraid of not being reelected? It's not a career to be in Congress.
I agree.
It is a position of servitude to serve your country. And if you don't get elected after your first or second term, well, go back and do your old job.
Yeah.
But I want to get my 20 in so I get my benefits. That's not why I'm electing you.
It used to be their prison terms were longer than their terms in Congress, and I think we need to get back to that. All right, more Gang of Four. 1046 on KTSA.
It was actually 2 years as a master's program.
Oh, you're really smart. Wow.
1051 News Talk 550 KTSA. Gang of Four is on for a Friday. We take the big stories of the day and the week, we mash them up, and then we bring together an always different, ever-changing, unpredictable bunch of people to talk about them. We have in the studio today Michael Shakelford, Mario Ochoa, and Cathey Meyer.
Who my age is the same as theirs put together.
Oh, no. Yesterday, the head of the FAA collected the resignation of the head of the U.S. air traffic system after we had yet another incident of an air traffic controller fast asleep, visions of sugar plums dancing in his head at the control tower. Now, though, present and former air traffic controllers are telling the Associated Press, you have to take a nap. It's necessary. The way the job is set up, you're in a dark, quiet room with nothing going on for long periods of time. In fact, there are even cots in some of these control towers.
You've got to take a nap. You
What?
Rest, but not on the job. My gosh, this staff shortage going on with the airlines is incredible. I mean, and they have to understand the focus. People are both intrigued and terrified by anything that happens with any airline. So whether it's a landing gear that doesn't come down or a near miss on the runway, I mean, there's so much scrutiny happening. It's amazing to me that in this day and age they would continue to allow these understaffed teams to guide
That is amazing.
these
But
aircraft.
hello, I'm from the government.
It's also amazing that they would admit, hey, we need a nap. I mean, don't you think this might not be the time to ask for a nap?
It's not. It's
there's people out there without a job who are saying, hey, I'll stay awake for 8 hours.
Absolutely. And,
hire me.
I think about how we run our business, and immediately when there's an issue, you attack it, you address it, because if you allow the issue to marinate, you're going to come
What
up.
time is nap time at your company?
There's no nap time.
Exactly. They don't have
Is there
snack
a
time. They don't have
siesta?
story
No nap
time.
and we're not even responsible for the safety of the tens of thousands
Playtime.
of travelers every day. It's incredible to me the lack of accountability on so many moving ends with the airlines.
I know. What do we do? I mean, what do we do with these people? Reagan fired them all in 1981.
Well, they must
we
be
gonna do
really
that
upset
again, or
because
what?
their secret naps are now over.
Yeah,
People will
that's
be
true.
checking.
The secret is out. I don't even want them to sound sleepy. I mean, I want them not only awake, I want them wired. I want them kind of jittery.
Aren't there people that can just, like narcolepsy, just sit there with their eyes open and they look awake?
They look awake, but
They need to work somewhere else.
But I would think when the first issue came out, in my head, I'm thinking, well, first of all, National Airport, but second of all, isn't there like a loud beep alarm or something that goes off in case of an emergency or just like an electrical shock in the chair?
Well, they're deep sleep. I suggested the electric shock in the chair. People said it was too mean. It was
Why
cruel.
don't we invent that?
Now the union would never allow it. I'll tell you though, if you are a person that's narcoleptic or falls asleep easily, or you get all sleepy in a dark room, this job is not for you.
You may be screened out at some point.
Red Bull.
No, I don't think
Coffee.
it's a disability.
Sleep at home.
Oh!
You may be right about that.
I still think,
You may be right about that. We may have to put up with these people.
Any known disabilities? Well, we can't discriminate.
even if you're discriminating in your hiring process and you gather people together that tend to have more energy or more stamina, like still cognitive ability slows down at a period of around 8 or 9 hours of being alert and being awake. So it's not just an issue about the staff. It's about how we're working them and what we're asking.
Well, there should be
them to
two people, right?
There should
Always.
be two. There should be three.
Because what if you have to go to the bathroom? I mean,
Absolutely.
Well, yeah,
right
I
away.
wondered about that too.
You know,
And so it's not just about the staffing. It's about how we're working people more, or we're working people more to try and accomplish with less personnel.
Well, and
it's
I think
ridiculous.
that goes on in all professions, because you hear about interns in the medical profession. That,
But Cathey,
you know,
nobody, if I fall asleep on the show here, nobody gets hurt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right, we got more Gang of Four coming up after the news at 11 on 550 KTSA.